Hey, what's up? It's DJ. Today we got a new blog all about fishing for the Highlands fishing expansion, releasing on Tuesday, November the 4th. We'll be able to buy a fishing rod from the in-game store just like everything else and can be found in the fishing rod section, meaning we could see others releasing sometime in the future, but for now, we'll only have the one. Fishing works by going near the water, whether that be a river or the ocean. Wherever there is water, we're going to be able to fish. And it was also mentioned that we'll be able to fish on Riverbend Springs, Hutampai, and Zilonga, but nothing was specifically said about mod maps, nor was anything said about the big water area that is on the horse map. This is also the first time that we've seen another boat in use other than the one from the previous footage. This is called the sport boat, and we can take it out to sea and start catching fish in the open water. There are some hot spots where more fish could be found, and other spots where you might catch some junk. To start what is being called the fishing challenge, press and hold the action button to cast your bait into the water. This button will likely be the same one that you use to turn on and off your flashlight. The longer that you hold the button down, the farther your bait will be cast. Now all you gotta do is wait for that fish to take the bait. An indicator will appear when it does. You press the action button again at the right moment, otherwise the fish gonna get away. Once you got a fish on the line, a bar will appear on the right with three different components. We have the fish in blue, which goes up and down, and the hook and bait on the right hand side, which you control by holding down the action button to raise it up and release it to lower it down. There's also a progress indicator on the left-hand side. What you do is you follow the fish up and down with the hook until it gets tired, and then you got it. Depending on the type and size of the fish, you can sell the fish on the spot for cash or release it back into the water. This could be a great way to make a little extra cash, as we've seen prices varying from $100 to $400. It's pretty cool. All right, now let's go off script a little bit and take a look at some of the screenshots we got today. So these are all going to be on the Kinlig map, at least as far as I can tell. That's where they all are. So here's our fishing pole. We have seen it a couple times at this point. It is an extendable one. We know that it's going to be hand tools, so we just select it and boop, it pops out and we're ready to go fishing. We can also see the fishing line, which is, well, a lot thicker than it would be in real life, but it's nice to be able to see that, at least in the game. And then we've got our lure way down there. Now, I don't know a whole lot about fishing, but I know just enough to get me by on this, so that is good. As far as everything else goes, we've got a car here in the background, sign, not really a lot going on otherwise, but this is a pretty cool screenshot. Plus, I mean, come on, we get to fish, so that's awesome. Next one up, I think we're in the area that we've normally seen the fishery. So there's a couple of videos that we've already gotten where we had a fishery out at sea, and I think that's about where we are right now. And we are on the boat. This thing's awesome. It was mentioned that this is the sports boat, so that is pretty cool. We got a couple Lizard 250 motors back there. I don't know if that's good or bad. Does Lizard make motors? Who knows? It is Lizard motors, isn't it? Here's our fishing pole again, all the way out. As far as I could tell, the bait is just going to be automatic, so we don't have to do anything with that. It's just there. We have seen time and time again all the areas back here on the left hand side, so really not a lot through there. I don't see any fish in the water, maybe here, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sold on that being fish, but nonetheless, I mean, it is pretty. It does look good. It's nice. We're out here. Finally, we get to see another boat. There are a couple more boats out this way too. They're not very, well, they're pixelated, all right. So there's not a lot we could see, and we're not going to be seeing any reflections off of the metal or the chrome, nothing like that. But this is very cool, and it's nice to see another boat. Ooh, we do have a holder for fishing poles down here. I wonder if we'll be able to do anything with that. Not likely, but it'd be pretty cool. And we get to see fishing rods in the store. Check this out, $150, so it pays for itself probably in the first two fish. We've seen between $100 and $400 so far for fish to be sold, so that's very nice. The other thing is, so there's two cool things. Well, one cool thing, two things really. So fishing rods, I assume this is going to be in hand tools, so, or a subset of the hand tools themselves. So nice to see that. However, I don't foresee Giants letting any modders get in on this. Fishing likely will be a locked mechanic because it's probably going to be locked with the expansion. So unless you have the expansion, you probably are not going to be fishing. And not only that, but this right here, Highlands Fishing Expansion under the fishing rod, well, that basically solidifies that. So you are not going to be doing any fishing whatsoever unless you own this. Hey, we got a GIF! All right, it's not very smooth, but it is what it is. So this is showing how we could pull the rod all the way back and chunk it. I'm trying to see exactly where it's thrown. Looks like it's thrown way out here, which is pretty far. So we're pulling back, throwing it as far as we can, and then we get the little bit at the bottom that says, wait. Now we've seen plenty of videos on this already, so we're not gonna just hang out here. I am also looking out here on the left-hand side. Can I zoom in on a GIF? I guess I can. I'm hoping that we're gonna be able to buy some of these boats. This one kind of looks like the speedboat, but I'm not quite sure. Just not quite sure about it. Here's a really nice screenshot and kind of a still of what it's going to look like whenever you are pulling all the way back. I am a little bit interested as well. If you throw it on ground, like this is pretty far back, and I think it's going to land somewhere over here. So what happens if you throw it and it lands on the land? Probably says try again or something like that. I don't know, that'd be pretty funny. But yeah, anywhere there's water, we'll be able to do our fishing. So that's pretty cool. And here's the same spot, but we've got our lure out in the water. I think it's about right there. Yep. And then we've got the line going in there. So we got a little bit of slack on it. And then we just get the sign that says, wait. So this is what that's going to look like straight down at the bottom. You just hang out and sit and wait. Ooh, $1.2 million. They must have been fishing a lot. After all that, you will get this right here. Hook the fish. I don't know how long this is going to stay on. They do say that you have to press the button at the right moment. Otherwise, the fish will escape. I imagine this is probably going to stay on for, I don't know, a couple seconds at the very least. But it may just pop up and then gone. You never know. So that's what that's going to look like. Fish on! Fish on! Fish is on! With this GIF here, we can actually see, I believe, a fish down in there. We kind of see it popping out a little bit. Not a lot going on with it, but still pretty cool. And then we get to see the mechanic over here of the fishing itself. So here's our hook, and I believe every time it is green, it's kind of within it, and you just want to keep the green in there. So you want to keep that hook just lined up with it, just about perfect. And then this will be our progress over here on the left-hand side. So we can lose progress and we can gain progress between it escaping and between us being able to get a hold of it. I was kind of hoping that this would be maybe like a hold the mouse and raise it up and down like I'm doing right now, or be able to move the right-hand stick or maybe the left stick on controllers up and down. But it looks like it is just press the button, go up and down. It is an action button at its most simple form. Oh, check this out. We also have pretty cool animation down here on the reel. That's neat. All right. I'm digging the fishing. Of course, we know sometimes you don't catch fish. This was not something that I don't think anyone guessed this, thought it, or anything. They say the floor is wet after all. Try again. I imagine they're yelling at us. This is neat. You know, I'm cool with it. It's not a guaranteed fish every single time, and I think that makes it a really interesting mechanic and something kind of different. Makes it fun. Makes it very fun. Plus, I mean, check this out. It's a nice asset for the caution water floor as well. Try again. Once the fish is owned, this is what we get. Fantastic. We have a gigantic salmon. I believe we've seen, was it small or baby, juvenile, young maybe, and then we've seen regular, but I don't think I've seen gigantic as a line anymore, or a line before. So that is very, very neat, very exciting for that. And then you can either sell it for $400 for this one at least, or we can release it as well. We get the fish there on the left-hand side, so a nice picture. This is pretty cool. And I'm all for it, man. And there you go. That is everything that was announced today about the fishing mechanic coming with the Highlands fishing expansion on Tuesday, November the 4th for all platforms. If you'd like to take a closer look at the new blog for yourself, definitely check that out on the Farming Simulator website. This expansion includes more than 20 machines, a new map, new crop, and new animals, including the fish that we talked about today. Pre-orders are available right now, and you can save 10% using my code in the description. Using that does go to help support the channel, and you get a discount. So so everybody wins. Owners of the Year 1 Season Pass won't need to pre-order it as you already own the DLC, and you'll be able to download it on release day. And if you don't want to pre-order it, maybe you don't want to buy it, or maybe you're just curious to see how it looks and performs before you do anything, don't worry, I will be showing everything off in detail and explaining how it all works once we get closer to that release day, so make sure you subscribe, that way you don't miss any future coverage of the Highlands Fishing expansion. If you have any other questions today, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching, hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.